Once upon a time, there was a child with a dream. A child who dreamed to grow up and be healthy and happy and prosperous. And as that child grew into an adult, they became a distributor in leverage sales, network marketing, MLM, whatever title you want to call it, but they went after their dream to build a business that helped other people become successful, that empowered themselves and others, that allowed them to be a social entrepreneur, to do good by doing good for everyone, for the greater good, for the planet. These people with these dreams, they're tired of being broke. They're tired of unfulfilled work, a life of quiet desperation, instead of that life of health and happiness and prosperity. So this now adult with a dream got on a train, got on a plane, drove all night, or rode in the back of a chicken truck, or did whatever they had to do to get to an event like the one you're in right now, or you're watching a replay of after the fact. People come to an event like this because they have that dream, but they might lack 1, 2, or 3 of the 3 necessary things to live that dream: knowledge, skills, and or belief. The dream, of course, is to become an MLM rock star, to become a star in our profession. Let me tell you what I first thought it meant to become a star in our space. I thought it was about building that big team, having those adoring crowds at the conventions, getting standing ovations, people wanted to have me sign their book, people wanted to take pictures of me. I thought being a star was about getting this big bonus checks, the being in the 2 comma club, becoming wealthy. There was a time I thought it was all about those exotic cars I bought and all those expensive watches and other bling bling. But let me tell you what it really means to become a star in our space. It's when you recognize it's never about you. It's about the people that you get to impact. It's never about you. It's about the team, about the company, about the bigger picture, protecting the golden goose so we can all move forward and continue this journey and help other people along that journey. You learn to become a star in our space. You have to solve problems and add value. And once you make that breakthrough, everything changes, because you recognize, okay, if I will think of the team first, if I will recruit with the right mindset, not with commission breath where you're repelling everybody away, but with the empathy and honest, sincere desire to help your candidates. I remember being in the business for a few years, struggled, not making money. I was terrible at recruiting. I worked on my recruiting skills and I started getting good at recruiting. I could draw those circles as good as anybody. So I started recruiting a lot of people. I could recruit 30 people in a month, but they were all dropping out. And then I'd recruit more, and most of them would drop out. So I called my sponsor and did a bitching session. I just called him up to whine. And oh my, I'm sponsoring all these people. They're stupid. They're ignorant. They're lazy. I don't understand. Why don't people do what I'm doing? Why aren't they like me? I keep putting them in, but they keep dropping out because I don't know. Are they stupid? Are they ignorant? Are they lazy? What's wrong with these people? Finally, after bitching and moaning, I finally told my sponsor, I just want to find people like me. And my sponsor cared enough to tell me the truth with love, but the truth. He said, Randy, that's your problem. You found people exactly like you. Because what you do is you attack people, you convince them, you close them, you get them signed up, and then you pester them every day or two to see if they've made you rich yet. And so they call their people and pester them to see, and that's just the culture you've created, is people who keep bringing people in and looking them through the eyes of how can you make me rich? And because my sponsor cared enough about me to tell me the truth, and because I was probably so desperate at the end of my wits and finally humbled enough to become teachable again, that I took that message to heart. And that's when I understand that in our profession, we become successful by helping other people reach success. It's not about walking across that stage, getting that big 6-foot bonus check or the pin or the trophy or the plaque. It's not about winning all the trips and the cars and all the stuff. It's not about you walking across the stage. It's about you just beaming like a proud parent as your leaders walk across the stage. One of my goals I always share with my people is, hey, I want a leader who makes more money than I do. I want people on my team who have higher ranks than I do. And I diligently work to support them to do that. And the funny thing happens is I still, it never happens. I earn more money, I break more ranks. And why does that happen? Because when you have a bunch of people building a bigger network, it makes your network bigger. When you have a bunch of people breaking ranks, it makes you break ranks. When you have a bunch of people making money, it makes you earn more money. So let's spend a few minutes talking about what does it take to become a star in our profession. Well, we got to start with the knowledge and skills, right? We said knowledge, skills, belief. So if we start there, I think first you have to be willing to become a student of the profession. And that means reading books on our business, listening to podcasts like my Duplication Nation MLM podcast, the duplicationnation.com site, going to events, learning from your sponsorship line, making sure that every major event you're there, because nothing builds belief more than the major events. And you understand, I've got to be at those events. I've got to get my team at those events. I've got to create the culture where my people become students of the profession. They understand you have to learn skills. Anytime we have someone on our team say, well, I'd love to build anymore, but I don't know any more people. If we ever hear that, we failed, because meeting people is a skill set. It's a skill set you can learn, and it's a skill set you can get better at. So when somebody says, I don't know that many people, what they're really saying is, I'm not willing to learn the skills. I'm not willing to put in the work to learn the skills that'll make me successful. I want somebody to do it for me. And the greatest thing about network marketing is it is the epitome of the free enterprise system of meritocracy, about earning what you're worth. It's either the most liberating thing you will ever learn or the most scary. But in network marketing, you will earn exactly what you're worth, because that's how the comp plans are set up. The comp plan doesn't know if you went to a PhD program and you got a doctorate, or you're a high school dropout like me. The comp plan doesn't know what your ethnicity is, your sexuality, your age, your experience. The comp plan doesn't know, doesn't care if you came into the business wealthy, or if you put your last $200 on a credit card to join the business. The comp plan rewards you for results. And the more people you help solve problems and add value, the more you're going to earn. So you got to commit to learn what I call the parachute skills. I give them that name because I believe once you learn these skills, you could parachute into any free country on earth and you could earn a living for yourself. Once you know these parachute skills, you will never have to worry about earning a living for the rest of your life. What are the parachute skills? Meeting people, working a candidate list, making compelling invitations, getting people in front of presentations, and follow up afterward. You ideally, you want to be at least proficient in all those skills your first 2 or 3 weeks in the business. And you set up your new member orientation and your training and your support. So everyone you bring in your team is proficient in those things in their first 2, 3 weeks in the business. But then you commit to being that student of the profession. You commit to getting better. There are people who make invitations. They call 10 people and 10 people say no. There are people who make compelling invitations. They call 10 people and 10 people say yes. Let me see what you got. What's the difference? The skill level, how much they practice, the passion that comes out through those invitations. So when you commit to learning the knowledge about the profession, it builds your belief, excuse me, it builds your self-confidence, and you develop your skills. In your presentations, your invitations, your presentations, your follow-up, they become more effective. That kind of leads us to that third thing we talked about, belief. See, when the difference in making a presentation, let's start with an invitation, and then we'll look at presentations, but it's the same thing. When you believe in what you're doing, you're a different person. Why do we say self-development is so important? Because when you're calling someone at 6:30 at night to ask them to look at a video or watch a live stream or come to your house for a presentation, you're a stronger person doing it. You have better, stronger posture doing that if you did some self-development that morning. Even if it was 12 hours earlier. There's a different look in your eye. There's a different tone in your voice. There's a different gravitas in who you are when you talk to people. So as you build that belief, your invitations become more powerful. Your presentations become more powerful. Your follow-up becomes more powerful. So we need that belief. And one of the best pieces of advice I can give you is borrow the belief from others until you've developed your own. You guys in this room, Stoil has that belief in you. Borrow his belief in you. Anyone else, what? Your sponsor has that belief in you. That's why they invited you to look at this. That's why they got you to a presentation. They believe in you. And I got to tell you, I believe in you. I mean that. I believe in you. And you say, Randy, I'm somebody in India who's just watching you on YouTube. You've never even met me. How can you believe in me? The answer is, I was where you are. I believe in belief. I believe in the power of a dream. I know when someone puts that last amount on a credit card, makes that commitment, signs up, makes their first calls, goes to their first presentation. I believe in people with dreams because I know that eventually, if they learn the skills, if they gain the knowledge, they will build the belief. So please borrow my belief until yours is strong enough. At 15 years old, I was in a jail cell for burglary and armed robbery, waiting for trial. Keys jangle in the door, cell opens one day, and a man walks in. No idea who he is, don't know him from Adam. Turns out his name is Baxter. He was a teacher. He was the father of a girl that I went to school with. She was dating my best friend. She told her dad, Dad, please, Randy Gage is in jail. He might never get out. Do something to help him. So there he was, shows up in my jail cell, and he tells me, you don't belong here. You're capable of great things. And I'm like, who is this clown? Does he have any idea who he's talking to? Does he have any idea how delusional he is? That the things he's suggesting, how crazy they are? And I basically told him all that. He said, no, Randy. I didn't just walk in here. I talked to all your teachers. I found out about you. Your teachers tell me you could skip school for 3 weeks straight. They don't see you. You walk in the next day, there's a test, and you ace the test. Do you know your reading comprehension level is beyond college level? You are capable of great things. Well, you know what? After sitting in that jail cell for weeks, cement floor, metal cot, steel door. There's a little tiny window in the door with the glass, with the wire that runs through it that makes it not breakable. And there was a clock outside in the hallway. And I just sit on my cot looking out the window at the clock. Tick, tick, tick. You do that long enough and you start to think, maybe the choices I've made in life haven't been the right ones. Maybe I need to rethink my life. And I know some of you listening to me right now are in that space. You're rethinking your life. And you're thinking maybe the choices you made up to now weren't the ones that serve you and weren't the ones that will take you to where you want to go, to the person you want to become. You guys that's the people I'm speaking to now. I believe in you. I believe you're capable of great things. When Baxter told me that, after I'm tick, 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 watch that clock, I so desperately wanted to believe him that I believed him. And do you realize, I mean, I hope you really, 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 really realize this. Because I believed him, it was true. And if I wouldn't have believed him, it would not have been true. So when I look at you, speak to you today, and I tell you, you can do this, you're capable of living your dreams, please know that if you believe it, it will be true. So I'm begging you, borrow my belief until you have enough. You all have seen it. Most of you, in the sound of my voice, you have seen people come into our profession and they don't understand anything about the comp plan works. They don't know all of the ingredients of the health products and where the herbs were grown and all that. They just have such passion, intensity, and urgency. They go out and they sponsor 10 people in 4 days and they just go crazy with it. Why? Just because they have belief. And that passion, that intensity, that urgency, it carries them forward. They're too dumb to know they're not supposed to grow so quick. So I'd encourage you, maybe you need to get too dumb to know that you're supposed to be able to build much quicker. So belief, and then the last thing I really tell you about this is that you've got to pay the price. Success never goes on sale. You got to pay the market price. I think of my friend Guillermo in Peru, going down to do a home meeting for him, picks me up in his car with no air conditioning, sweltering heat. We're driving through the barrios to get to his house. We get to his home, small home, beautiful, filled with love, but small. No air conditioning there either. And he has 40 people in the living room for me to do a presentation. And 40 people crammed in a living room that should hold 5. I mean, it was so hot. Just sweat was pouring down my face. Sweat was pouring down everybody in the place. But you know what? He was paying the price. I talked to you, at the start, I talked about somebody getting in the back of a chicken truck to go to an event. Why do I say that? Because that actually happened. I did an event where somebody went in the back of a truck with chickens over the mountains from Colombia to Peru to get to an event because they were willing to pay the price. I think of Sam, who rode a bicycle to meetings in Taiwan, who became a millionaire. I think of the guy who came to my training in Trujillo riding a mule. I think of my friend Mary in Colorado, who was living in divorced, deadbeat husband, not paying child support, got a couple of kids. She's living in her friend's basement, who became wealthy because she was willing to pay the price. Think of Jose Lopez, my long dear friend who I just did a podcast with, who got on a boat with his wife, who was 8.5 months pregnant, got on a boat with 17 other people from Cuba and took it across the straits, facing almost certain death, to get to America, where he has built his dream and become a leader in our profession. You have to be willing to pay the price. but you got to know the price is worth it. Every one of those people I just mentioned, they would tell you, they would grab you by the lapels, they would shake you, they would beg you, they would beseech you, please don't give up on your dream. Please be willing to pay the price. Do the things you hate to live the life you love. Make the calls, take the rejection, go to the meeting, do the dirty work, do the grunt work, pay the price, because, my mantra was always, I will do today what others will not do, so that tomorrow I can do what others cannot do. And I suggest you adopt that as your mantra as well. So where does our story end up? They got on a plane. They got on a train. They drove all night. They rode in the back of the chicken truck. They did whatever they had to do. Or maybe they didn't get to that event, but they're watching this replay on YouTube right now, a month later, a year later, 22 years from now, after the time I recorded it. But they had a dream and they wanted to live that dream. So they got here right now. And I'm talking about you. And you made a commitment to do what it takes to live your dream. So what happened in the story? They gained the knowledge. They developed the skills. They built the belief. And they lived happily ever after. Peace.